the system meant for?
This system is meant for, we started this series of training people during the lockdown. We've been doing this training for people who come to our place and they do a sensitization, and then afterwards we take them to the next level. But because of the lockdown, we came out with an idea that we should be able to assist people to spend quality time such that when they come out of the lockdown, they can find an option of an alternate activity that they can undertake, because you never know, maybe during the lockdown, your business must have suffered some problem that it cannot restart. Or maybe your job was terminated because the company you're working for is no longer there. So this is, the system is meant for everybody who wants to go into business, farming fish. But specifically, this system is meant for people who would like to undertake this as a business. Especially during the lockdown, it gives you a unique opportunity to go through the lessons that we are going to be teaching you and then make a decision on whether to go for this farming activity. So the corporate group, the business people, the stay-home moms, and housewives, and the youth like you. This system is meant for you. If you want to start a job, instead of going to look for a job, you can undertake the activity of farming fish, because fish has got a very lucrative market and the business is very easy to start. Most of the problems that we have is that people don't understand how to farm fish. So for that, the cooperative society is ready to work with you so that you don't find any problems. So the system is almost meant for everybody, but we are particularly targeting those groups that are listed.
Why do you say it's commercially viable?
The system becomes commercially viable if what you invest and what you spend can be recovered, and it has got a financial margin that you can benefit from. This system is commercially viable because you invest money and you can get up to 50 or 60% profit margin in your harvest. That's why it is commercially viable.
So how does one participate?
To be able to participate, first of all, you attend these sessions that we are going to be sending you on the WhatsApp group. You listen to the podcasts, and then you make a decision whether you want to go ahead to the next level. When you decide that you want to participate fully, then we can make a concept note for you. The concept note, the purpose is for you to be able to analyze whether this business is viable on paper. The concept note will consist of drawings of the system, how we are proposing it, and then we'll produce bills of quantity that itemizes the total cost of the system, the individual cost of each item, and then it will have what we call the financials. The financials will be consisting of income and expense, and then the profit on the monthly and on yearly. And then we'll give you a cash flow, a 6-year cash flow projection. This assists you to understand the future of the business and the position that it is going to take financially. When you look at these documents and you find that it makes financial sense, that it is commercially viable, then you can decide to invest. You'll be knowing how much money you are going to invest in order to set up the system. You'll be knowing how much money you need in order to run the day-to-day activity of the system, and you'll be knowing how much profit you expect to get. After getting this document, you'll be able to do your own due diligence, go through the document and see whether it makes sense. And then you can use the same document, take it to a financial institution, like a bank, to be able to explain your business proposition.
What do you see as the future system now?
The future of the system, in Africa, we have got the biggest arable land in the whole world. 60% of the arable land is in Africa. Agriculture is the future for Africa. Currently, agriculture that we have been doing is subsistence farming. The World Bank projects that agriculture for Africa, if it can go commercial, it is at the tune of $1 trillion by 2030. Now, agriculture which is commercially viable, not the subsistence agriculture. In order for us to be able to feed our people, we need to go into commercial agriculture. So this is one of the commercial agricultural system that I think is going to be able to be used in the future. Because traditional agriculture of spraying crops, of using mechanization is no longer sustainable. Because the agriculture has got to have an environmental component whereby it is sustainable and it does not do damage to the environment. Traditional agriculture starts with cutting the forest because that is the fertile land. So you need to know that when you cut the forest, you're damaging the environment. So the agriculture that you do should not damage the environment. Then you go ahead to spraying crops. Then you go ahead to spraying fertilizer. All those have got a residual effect that is very harmful to the environment. On a large scale, it is not sustainable. So this agriculture is a sustainable agriculture, which is going to be the priority in the future.
But I don't have a background in farming. How will I manage?
Exactly. In fact, I think that's the best question. How will people like you, especially the youth, who don't have a background in agriculture, who in most cases even hate agriculture, be able to do the farming? We have got a special program which is called a grower support program. The function of the grower support program is for people like you. Majority of people, even if they know farming of goats, of cows, of pigs, of chicken, they do not understand the farming of fish. When we looked at this problem, we addressed it like this. We have a grower support program which runs with you, which is hand-holding you to see that you do not make mistakes. It teaches you how to farm, how to feed the fish, how to grade them, how to keep records on your farm, because this is a commercial activity, you must maintain records. And it sees you through the program. When your produce is ready, we can assist you to sell the produce. When we see that you are satisfied and you are happy with the activity and you have learned, then we can hand over the system to you, and then you can run it yourself. Even after that, we continue to monitor you and to work with you.
What about the market of my produce?
Your produce, that is another challenge that most farmers have. We have what we call a marketing cooperative. The function of a marketing cooperative is to collect the produce that is generated by its members and market it with one voice. The cooperative has capacity to place orders, to fill tenders and to supply the goods in a tender. And then it can collect the produce from the outgrowers and supply it as one big bulk sale. That will enable it to get very good prices that it can give back to the farmers. So produce is also looked after such that when it is ready, it can be marketed. Any other question, Vivian?
No, I think those were my questions.
Okay. Thank you very much for contacting us. Thank you very much, dear viewers and listeners. This is the end of this series, which was a two-part series when we were interviewing a lovely young lady called Vivian Nakaiwa. Anybody who wants to come on this interview, please contact me on that number which is given. Goodbye.